This is the newest of the Bell Aircraft Corporation's helicopters. Larger than previous models and styled for beauty and comfort as well as utility, these aircraft provide a new kind of flying which will see many applications in a number of different fields. This new form of flying, unique to helicopters, was developed to new performance standards in a series of smaller prototype machines. They bring to air transportation a new versatility and safety. They are able to hover or sustain flight without forward speed, to fly low and slow and under precision control. The control stick governs forward, backward, and sideward flight. Conventional rudder pedals control turning. The helicopter is able to turn on its own axis and in either direction, thus greatly increasing its maneuverability. A third control governs vertical flight. These Bell helicopters not only achieve these performance qualities, but also have inherent flight stability, important in rotary wing aircraft. Flight with hands off the controls is possible in these ships. Further proof of the aircraft's stability and control qualities was demonstrated during the development period. One such occasion was a 4th of July celebration in Buffalo's Civic Stadium. Here, 40,000 spectators watched a Bell helicopter in a performance requiring precision control as it flew between guy wires, light poles, and firework displays. Previously, another Bell helicopter had flown indoors at one of Buffalo's armories in a preview before the Civil Air Patrol. This was the first indoor flight ever made in the United States, and it indicated the helicopter's ability to maneuver in close quarters. On other occasions, practical values of the helicopter were demonstrated. In an emergency, a doctor was flown to a snowbound farmhouse to care for an injured man. The following spring, an appeal from the United States Coast Guard sent one of the Bell helicopters out over the melting ice of Lake Erie to pick up 2 fishermen marooned beyond all other means of rescue. Unable to land on the slush ice, the helicopter had hovered inches above the surface of the lake while the men climbed aboard. These and hundreds of other routine test flights clearly indicated the advantages of these new flight qualities over other types of aircraft. Areas which would ordinarily be hazardous for aircraft can easily be traversed by helicopters with complete safety. Suitable landing fields are no problem, for it needs only a space large enough to accommodate the span of its rotor blades. In contrast, even the lightest conventional airplane requires a broad, smooth field. Larger planes require longer fields, and in an emergency, these facilities are not always at hand. No such broad areas are required for helicopters. They are able to fly slowly over any kind of terrain and carefully select a small area suitable to land. Were this an emergency, the helicopter could make a vertical descent without power into this same spot by means of auto-rotation. In the event of power failure, a freewheeling device in the transmission permits the rotor to turn freely. This provides sufficient lift to enable the craft to descend safely and under complete control. Numerous auto-rotation landings have been made without incident. Particular emphasis was given to this phase of the program because of its importance to safe helicopter flying. Each time, the pilot was able to select his landing place and set down with ease. From the pilot's eye view, the needles separate on the instrument at the far left, and the helicopter is in auto-rotation. The engine is no longer driving the rotor blades, and they are turning freely, providing the necessary lift for controlled descent. The altimeter at the upper right indicates diminishing altitude. 400 feet. 350 feet. 300 feet. In fact, it's much slower than a modern passenger elevator. The needles at the far left remain separated throughout the descent, and the helicopter touches the ground so gently the camera is hardly disturbed. With helicopters creating national interest, Bell Aircraft was host to many high military and government officials. Among these were General H.H. Arnold, Chief of the Army Air Forces, General Lawrence Craigie, Chief Engineering Division, Air Technical Service Command, General Jimmy Doolittle of Tokyo Air Raid fame, Commander Erickson of the Coast Guard, who has pioneered in the use of helicopters for air-sea rescue work, Commander Dahl of the United States Navy, together with many other Navy and Army personnel. From Canada came Air Vice Marshal E.W. Stedman and his staff, who viewed with interest this new form of air travel. And from France came General Henri Ziegler, Lieutenant Colonel Albert Ledouce, together with other ranking officers, and Jean Blériot, whose father was the first to fly the English Channel. Former Mayor of New York, Fiorello LaGuardia, was enthusiastic after his first ride, as was Governor Dewey of New York. When President Harry S. Truman visited the Bell Aircraft facilities, he inspected the helicopters. Keenly interested in this new form of transportation, he witnessed a demonstration of the helicopter's flying abilities. Interest was centered not only in high government circles, but in many fields where the performance of these machines would be useful. A group of farmers asked to see how helicopters could help them with crop dusting. They found this means to be more effective, for helicopters can readily cover all sections of small as well as large fields. They found, too, a more thorough job results due to the downwash effect of the rotor, which swirls the chemicals upward, coating the underside of the plants as well. Rural and other isolated areas which have always been inaccessible to other forms of transportation can easily be reached by these aircraft. In the case of emergencies or even for daily problems of supply, helicopters can penetrate all sorts of terrain to remote places and land safely in small areas. Helicopters will prove useful in many other ways to farmers and cattle breeders. Here is a new way to herd and count cattle on the large ranches in rugged western states, or search for strays and injured stock in the most remote areas of the grazing range. Helicopters will find valuable application in other industries, too. Mining and prospecting regions, characteristically difficult to travel, will be reached easily by this means, greatly reducing the time and cost of these operations. For forest patrols, lumbering concerns, as well as government conservation agencies are looking to this kind of air transportation as a means of more effectively guarding these valuable resources. Geological surveys, exploring, patrolling of pipelines and waterways, or any other activity which takes place in remote regions will benefit from the closer inspection made possible by the helicopter's versatility. Another use for these aircraft will be in the field of public utilities, for example, electric power. The thousands of miles of transmission lines which stretch across the land through various terrain must undergo constant inspection to ensure maximum operating efficiency. Equally important would be the value of helicopters in reaching isolated places with men and equipment in the case of emergencies. With the ability to fly at low altitudes and at slow speeds, weather conditions which normally ground all other aircraft are no hindrance to helicopters. Bad weather is no problem if you can slow down to 0 miles per hour. Further experience with severe weather conditions was encountered during an accelerated service test. For a period of several weeks, one of Bell's test pilots commuted by helicopter from his suburban home to the factory, a distance of 20 miles. The helicopter had remained in the open, unsheltered throughout the night during a heavy blizzard at 0 temperatures. Starting with no more effort than an automobile, after a few moments warm-up, the helicopter was ready for takeoff. This was a new way to surmount the transportation difficulties caused by deep snow. Rising above the drifts, they left behind suburban neighbors who were snowbound until plows could clear the roads. In flying qualities like these is seen a real asset to our mode of living, for helicopters will provide the kind of transportation ideally suited to all modern pursuits. Helicopters come as a logical development of aviation achievements of the past. During the war, Bell produced military aircraft on a scale equal to the unprecedented demand. From small, powerful fighters to giant bombers, Bell answered the appeal not only for quantity, but for new designs and new ideas. Now in Bell helicopters, this production experience and engineering ability is being applied toward the advancement of new designs and new ideas for progress in time of peace. The same skills so important to building fighter airplanes are now being devoted to this new type of aircraft. The design ingenuity responsible for Bell's other aviation achievements has been combined with modern styling to mark an important step forward in this newest form of air transportation. Designed to carry 5 passengers or equivalent cargo, this new helicopter embodies appointments for convenience and serviceability to be found in the most advanced modern vehicles. Wide automobile-type doors provide easy access, and the machine is equipped with complete dual controls. Generous areas of plexiglass afford good vision. From an engineering standpoint, perhaps the most outstanding achievement is the built-in stability. The rotor mechanism incorporates a gyro bar stabilizer based on a new principle to ensure stable flight under any conditions. These features, together with a reputation for sound engineering practice, assure greater safety and comfort. Providing a mode of travel long sought, the helicopter's versatility and freedom from restrictions promise wide application in many fields. Beyond these, and for its value to modern living, the performance qualities of this aircraft make it truly a modern magic carpet.